Hello and welcome to another installment of Real Talk. I am your host, Paul Britton. I am excited. Man, I am excited about awards. I was going to say award season because it is in full swing. Last week we had the amazing, the incomparable Kristen Smith on to discuss Anatomy of a Fall, which I highly recommend everybody go check out that episode if you skipped it. And today I've got three movies that are highlighting what I am calling not the feel good movie weekend of the year, because like how I don't know, like if you ever heard, oh, that's a feel good, none of these movies are feel good movies. All right, these are really heavy material movies. Two of them in particular, one maybe a little less so. We'll get to that. And yeah, let's just say your old host Paul here had some feelings while sitting through in a movie theater on Friday night and Sunday morning. So this is my Sunday morning movie. Priscilla. So Priscilla is the biopic of Priscilla Presley, coming to us from Sofia Coppola, who, renowned director Francis Ford Coppola's daughter, who has just made her very own career that is ridiculously amazing and accomplished, and just absolutely 100% worth talking about. Not going to dive too deep into that, other than just to say, if you haven't seen Lost in Translation, is her directorial debut, it's perfection. It is really one of the best movies made in the past 30 years, and you really should go check it out. But today she's coming to us with Priscilla, and I gotta tell you, going in, obviously, everybody knows that Elvis dies, and everybody knows, it's somewhat common knowledge that they did get divorced, and it's super common knowledge that they met when she was 15. Which, look, it's weird, like and the one thing this movie doesn't try to do and tiptoe around is the weirdness of the relationship. I mean, but and the interesting thing about that is that it's framed in the way that you would expect it to be, and hope to be, though could very easily maybe not have been, which is that, look, Elvis is just a fucking weird guy. And but I love Baz Luhrmann, and his Elvis movie was fine and all. It's fine, but it doesn't dive too deep into the weirdness of Elvis. It more dives into the weirdness around Elvis. And this movie is just like, hey, look, Elvis was a weird, complicated problem dude, and says, let's look at how that impacted this young woman, this teenager, honestly, for the first two acts. Honest, yeah, for they don't get married. They don't get married until like the changeover from act 2 to act 3, like that. The act 3 is like, hey, we just got married. I mean, which is bonkers, right? But that's exactly what happens. And so my thoughts, this is a tough one, because I'm not gonna spoil it, but I will say that you want as much about Priscilla as you possibly can get. And that's I mean, that's really evident, and Coppola does an amazing job of making you want that, like saying, here's this person, this is where she is and what she is, and but never really dives deep into who she was. I mean, there's a lot of what's going on around her, but you just really, like, want to know, what's she think about this? Like, what does she actually look, it's really fucking weird that everywhere Elvis goes, there's just this giant cadre of dudes following him around. Like, he literally has a posse going everywhere that he goes, and like, it's weird. It's just weird. And how does she feel about that? It does mm-mm. I mean, you are left to judge, like, how do you feel about it? That's probably how she feels about it, but maybe, maybe not. The wonderful thing that this movie does, is emptiness. I mean, that's really the one thing, and that's why this movie's a tough one. This movie is a tough one because it's so empty. Um, Not from the standpoint of, oh, well, there's nothing there. There's a lot there, but what's there is just the vacuum, and and so much time spent wondering, where's Elvis? And but when he's not there, there's just an absolute vacuum of energy. And then Elvis shows up and it's like, holy shit. Like, he just absolutely demands everyone's attention. And not because like he's super interesting, but just because that's who he was almost. Like, he just demanded people's attention. And he was an asshole. Like, not big surprise there. But like, this movie is so good. It's but it also is one of those movies, like, I don't know the scenario where I'm gonna go watch this again. You know what I mean? I've had these conversations about these movies where it's just like, I really like this movie. I absolutely recommend it for people to go check out. Me personally, I've seen it and I'm good. And but if I were in a house and somebody said, "Hey, I'm putting in Priscilla," I'm not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm leaving." But if somebody says, "Hey, I'm gonna put in Priscilla," or pick another really good movie, or Anatomy of the Fall, I'm like, "Oh, definitely Anatomy of the Fall." Like, even though that is by no means a feel good movie either, but like, so Priscilla, let's. Oh, one final thing. This movie, the way this movie ends, and this is not a spoiler, but the way this movie ends is an all-time. Wait, we're the credits are going, and that means we leave now. Like, just an absolute all-time. Holy shit! You're really not gonna give us the 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 look into Priscilla's psyche, are you? Like, that we're not getting that. Shout out to Kaylee Spaney, who this had to have been an impossible role to play, and she absolutely nails it, and kudos to her. Uh we do a taco rating. Tacos, you could give guac if you want to add a little bit of extra because nobody eats a half a fucking taco. So I'm going 4 tacos on Priscilla. Um Really, really good. Excellent, honestly. The choice to not give you the insight into her psyche is a choice, and it's a completely valid choice, and it's really the hallmark of this movie that oh, by the way, shot beautifully too. So there you go. 4 tacos for Priscilla. The next one on the list of the not feel good movie weekend is The Holdovers from Alexander Payne. Now, Alexander Payne is one of those guys who he comes around and does like one movie every I don't know what, like 5 years maybe. Let's see. So he started, everybody kind of got to know him with Election. That was kind of his, that wasn't his first movie, but it was his first big movie. Like, before Election, I'm going to read you out. So Election was 99. He had Citizen Ruth in 96. I don't know. He had The Passion of Martin in 90 or 91. Yeah, I don't know. And then he had like a straight to video movie. But that, so like, he does 99, he does Election. Fantastic. 2002, he does About Schmidt. Again, fantastic. Kathy Bates wins an Oscar. 2004. Oh no. Okay, so this is why I'm even doing this, because I fucking hate Sideways. I hate it. I hate it. I saw it in the theaters and I hated it, and it's an exploration of miserable people that you would never find in the wild hanging out together. Like, yeah, okay, you can find miserable people hanging out together, but they usually have they usually share their misery. These are miserable people that are miserable for completely different reasons that would could never possibly share in their misery, and that would never choose to be miserable together. I hate this movie. And then he went and but people loved it. That's fine. He did Paris Je t'aime in 2006. And and then he did The Descendant. This is where he starts breaking things off. The Descendants in 2011. He did Nebraska in 2013. It's as you can see, it just he gets an idea, he lets it bake for about 3 to 5 years, and then he makes a movie. His last movie was Downsizing, which was not received well, and then this one we've got The Holdovers. So, that brings us up to date on Alexander Payne. I know you're wondering, did he like it? I did. I liked it. These are also miserable people, but different. The sideways, the people are miserable in the sense of I hate these people. These people are miserable in the sense that they're just really sad people, and they each have their own things going on that is causing them their misery. And unlike Sideways, where it's like, why are these people hanging out together? They would never be together. Similarly, these people would never choose to be together, but they're forced to be together. And that's why this movie has heart, where Sideways is completely devoid of heart, in my opinion. I'm going to stop talking about Sideways. I'm going to just talk about Holdovers. That's why I like this movie, is because this is a quintessential dark comedy where it's just like, oh, these people are so miserable, but they are so funny in how do they find the will to just be entertaining and amusing to themselves even. And it's great. It so totally works. Look, Paul Giamatti is he's one of those guys that's just always gonna be like, yeah, okay, I like what he's doing. And again, he absolutely, yes, I like what he's doing. I even like what he did in Sideways. I just didn't care for the movie. And here he is again. And the crazy thing about this movie is that his primary male co-star in the movie is a guy named Dominic Sessa. This is his first movie, and you would never guess it in a bazillion years. He is so good in this, and he really, really comes to life on the screen while also understanding how to play the depth of the character that he has to play. And honestly, I'm hoping for a Best Supporting Actress nod for Divine Joy Randolph, because she's just absolutely stellar in this movie. And I don't know if Paul Giamatti will get a nod. I don't know if Dominic Sessa will get a nod, but I really hope that Divine Joy Randolph gets one. This movie, look, you're gonna laugh during this movie, and you're gonna be like, oh Jesus, I feel so terrible about my life. But you're gonna be laughing about it, and that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. And The Holdovers is a Christmas movie, so all the more reason to go see it. I'm giving this one 3 tacos plus really delicious guac. This is a keeper. This is one that I really hope people check out. It's on limited release right now. It's coming out wide release next week. Definitely put this at the top of your list of things to go see. The last movie I'm going to be looking at is something that probably 99% of the people on the planet, 99.999, have no idea about, have never heard of, or anything. Why? Because Apple has no fucking clue how to market their shit. So we have this movie called Fingernails with Jesse Buckley and Riz Ahmed. Oh, just two of our best living actors under the age of 60. That's all. Don't worry about it. Oh my God, this movie. Okay, so this movie is what we'll call science fiction light, in that there is a sort of semi-science aspect of it, uh, but not really. And it's not a romantic comedy, because while there are comedic elements to it, it's not the romance is not the funny part, and I think for in a romantic comedy, the romance needs to be. This is just a classic like two people trying to find each other, like but literally like each other and themselves, but really just each other. And so the best way to explain what I mean by sci-fi light is that um it's kind of like the Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind, the oh poo. Jim Carrey stars, but Charlie Kaufman. It's the Charlie Kaufman movie where Jim Carrey stars, and they figured out a way to like erase segments of your memory or specific people from your memory. This movie kind of exists in that exact. I would love for this movie to have actually made a reference to Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind in some way. Like basically what happens is they have figured out a way to find out if couples are compatible with each other, if they were meant to be together. But you have to have your fingernail removed, and then there's this little machine that analyzes the fingernails and determines, oh yeah, okay, you two were together, and they have like institutes and stuff who prior to getting you're getting tested, you spend time in the institute like learning to love essentially, and so that should hopefully increase the likelihood of your test turning out positive, because what people are doing is if they test negative, they're like, oh fuck it, leaving, out of this relationship, even if they do love each other. No, I'm out. And so Jessie Buckley is plays a woman who tested positive, but you find pretty quickly that while she tested positive, the relationship that she's in has become a little stale. Just eh. and so she goes and to get a job at one of these institutes to hopefully teach people how to fall in love. But really, what she wants to do is use it in her own life so that she can bring the love back into her own life. And she is being trained by Riz Ahmed. And basically, what ends up happening is she falls in love with Riz, and she's not sure about his feelings. He's very, guarded and sheltered on that, and it's just, it's delightful. Look, Jessie Buckley, Riz Ahmed. Hopefully, if you have Apple Plus, that's enough to get you to want to go and watch the movie. Jessie Buckley is an all-time favorite here on this podcast, and she continues to be. Obviously a much more accessible movie than Men, something that she did recently. Riz Ahmed, also super big favorite here on Real to Real Talk. So I can't possibly recommend this movie more. I want people to go see it. Uh, it's a three tacos plus guac movie. Look, is it going to be on my top 10 of the year? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Is it absolutely worth checking out because the concept is pretty quirky and fun and the acting is amazing? Yes. And that's where it lands. And I really hope that people will go check it out. So that's it, my guys. We did Priscilla, The Holdovers, Fingernails. Hopefully you'll go see 1, 2, or 3 of those movies. Apple Plus, you don't even have to go anywhere. Just stay at home. And unlike Netflix movies, this movie actually felt like, it was edited and somebody, spent the time to say, yeah, this is how you want to end it. And, it's good. It's good. As usual, thank you so much for joining the podcast. I will be back next week when we will be looking at the Marvels and a new Netflix release, which has been on limited release but never came to my area, that I'm super looking forward to. The Killer. All right. Hey, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful week.